This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 110 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And I guess I saw a little bit of myself in you. Obviously not your strip mall wardrobe. And I probably curse more in one day than you've cursed in your entire lifetime. But you have integrity to right wrongs and see justice done. You inspire me, Kira. I can see the hero within you. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany Belvedere.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Yay.
And Rach, nice quote pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got 4 shows to pick from, but you know, you can't go wrong with a Cat Grant quote.
Especially in this case.
Not.
But you know, you got to make sure you get it right. Even though if you read it, it says Kara, you have to say Kira. So,
Exactly.
that's how you really get it right. So, unfortunately, Chrissy is sick. Her and her hubby came down with apparently the world's worst cold ever and are like in a NyQuil-induced stupor or something. So they are taking it easy. So, but Chrissy sends her love and hopefully she'll be back to the land of the living next show. We can only hope. Thankfully, you can't catch colds over Skype. Thankfully.
Yep.
Yeah. So. But with that, we will, I guess, jump right into news, starting with news, but yeah, I cried watching this, seriously, a little bit. Little bit of tears, lots of goosebumps, and I don't mean the scary books for kids, I mean like, you know, chills, goosebumps. Unless you've been living under a rock, we got a new trailer for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And
Is it December yet?
holy crap! Holy crap, this looks so good.
Uh-huh.
Now, granted, they have set our priority, you know, the bar pretty high with episode 7, but, you know,
Still.
yeah, it's like our expectations are kind of high now that we know what to expect from this whole Disney bought Lucas thing. But yeah, no, this looks so good. Like we get a nice Jyn Erso, like, backstory-ish, just a little, like, of what her father did, you know, and how she gets involved with the whole thing with the rebellion, and there's stuff blowing up, and Death Star, and there's Darth Vader, and oh my goodness. So good.
Paraphrase a certain Disney llama, Nike.
Yeah. Like, oh, it looks so good. I asked Chauncey last night, we were talking about it, and I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to go to a midnight showing, or do you want to do like we did for episode 7 and go the next morning, like an early show, early the morning after the midnight shows? He's like, yeah, let's do the morning thing again. So more than likely we will not be joining the throngs at midnight. We will go and join the throngs who get up stupid early to go to the movie theater.
That's what I did.
For Star Wars.
That worked pretty good.
Yeah, we still had to stand in line. It was still a crap ton of people. But
That's why I like living in my little area. Like, I went Thursday night. They had a showing at 7.
mm-hmm.
So I was able to go see it then. And there was not too many people there because it's my town, my area, but it is really small. So very rarely do we have big
throngs of people. Yeah. Advantage to living in a smaller town. Me, not so much. I butt right up against Indianapolis, which is the largest city in the state, so. But yeah, I mean, as soon as tickets go on sale, we will be which shouldn't be too much longer, I don't think, before tickets start going on sale, because I just bought Chauncey and I's tickets for Doctor Strange last week. So, yeah.
Well, sometimes, like, it depends. Cause I remember sometimes tickets will go on sale weeks in advance. Sometimes they wait, like, even, like, just a week or so.
Yeah, I think it depends on how big the movie is. So, something as big as, like, a new Star Wars movie, you're probably looking at 3-4 weeks in advance. Because I know, like, tickets are also on sale now for Fantastic Beasts, which doesn't come out for another month. So, I'd imagine, you know, probably in the next couple of weeks, a month at most, I think we're going to be seeing tickets on sale for Rogue One. So be prepared with your Fandango app or whatever your, you know, choice method of getting tickets is. So it's going to be a big deal. Just a little. It's Star Wars.
I'm still debating of what I want to do, like go on that when it comes out, or waiting until after work.
Yeah.
Another fun thing about working weekends, I have to wait.
Yeah. It's like, do I wait or do I stay up way past my bedtime? Decisions. First world problems.
Responsible adult
Yep.
or not.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, responsibility goes right out the window. I'm not condoning being irresponsible people. I'm just joking. Kind of. Anyway, speaking of stuff in movies, movie theaters, not as widely released, but BBC America and Fathom Events are teaming up again and are going to be releasing the new animated version of Power of the Daleks. It will be in select cinemas on the 14th of November. So, check Fathom Events. Unfortunately, the closest theater that it's going to be playing is clear on the other side of town, and I'm not sure if I want to make that drive, especially on a Monday evening, so we'll see. I may just wait till it comes out on DVD.
I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure, as in most cases, the closest to me is probably going to be like in New York.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, usually I get lucky.
It's a 3-hour drive away.
Yeah, it's like usually with the BBC, with the Doctor Who stuff, I've been very lucky, and it's been at the theater that's our IMAX, that also contains our IMAX theater, which is on the south side of Indianapolis, which is closer to where I live. But this time, nope, not unless they add it between now and then, which is always possible. Fathom Events doesn't always add all the theaters all at once. But if you live in a small town, odds are not in your favor. Like, sorry. No, this kind of stuff, it's all about supply and demand. So, but, you know, if you can't make it and see it in the movie theater, it's also apparently going to be shown on TV like 5 nights later. So.
Yep. They should wait for it to be free.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or wait till it comes out on DVD. You can do that
That's
too.
true.
So. Or iTunes, or whatever your preferred method of procuring stuff is.
Well, our next bit of news, there is a new librarian's tie-in book called Librarians and the Lost Lamp by Gregory Cox. For millennia, the librarians have secretly protected the world by keeping watch over dangerous magical relics, cataloging and safeguarding everything from Excalibur to Pandora's box. They stand between humanity and those who would use the relics for evil. 10 years ago, only Flynn Carson, the last of the librarians, stood against an ancient criminal organization known as the 40. They stole the oldest known copy of the Arabian Nights by Scheherazade, and Flynn fears they intend to steal Aladdin's fabled lamp. He races to find it first before they can unleash the trapped malevolent jinn upon the world. Today, Flynn is no longer alone. A new team of inexperienced librarians, led by Eve Baird, their tough as nails guardian, investigates an uncanny mystery in Las Vegas, a mystery tied closely to Finn's original quest to find the lost lamp and the fate of the world that hangs in the balance. And that is out. I am 5 chapters in and loving it. If Gregory Cox sounds familiar, he has also written quite a few Star Trek Next Generation books, along with one of the 3 Leverage novels called The Bestseller's Job, and he is also lined up to write the 2nd book in the Librarians series called Librarians and the Mother Goose Chase. So, I highly recommend it.
This guy knows a thing or two about adapting TV into book form, is what you're saying.
Yes, he does. Yes. I mean, considering the book kind of jumps between past and present, but I mean, there was a Charlene sighting, a Judson sighting, a Cal sighting.
Nice.
Within the first couple of chapters, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's like, yay, universe establishment.
As you could tell from my chat to you ladies, with the almost squeak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need another book series to try and read. I'm having enough trouble keeping up with Doctor Who, and I haven't read any of the Lethbridge Stewarts. Oh my god. Oh.
But if you guys are worried about characterization, he's spot on. I mean, Flynn's Flynn, Baird's Baird, Jake's Jake. Is Stone,
Cassie's Cassie.
Judson Jenkins is Jenkins. Charlene is very much Charlene. So, yep. Good times.
Yeah.
And less than a month to go till we have the Librarians back on our screen. I've been seeing trailers.
Yay!
And it looks like it's going to be a good season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking my local library for this, and there's 3 holds on 1 copy.
No.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Place your hold now.
Yeah.
Or hope that another library in your vicinity gets another copy soon.
Knowing where my library card is. Where
Like, find the library card. Find the thing.
No, I have
Do the
my
thing.
card here. I just need to.
My local library never has anything good. I gave up on them.
Well, I mean, I just searched it in their catalog just to see if they have it, and they do, but there's like 4 people ahead of me to read it, so,
Yeah.
like, because there's the person that I have that, okay.
It's also available where fine books are sold. If you want to just flat out buy it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, but yay, librarians. I'm excited. Librarians is one of the I know we've talked about it several times on the on the podcast, but it's just one of those shows where it's like, we're sitting around going missing Doctor Who, and then we're watching all of our other stuff too, and then we get reminded that the librarians is something that exists, and we're like, oh yeah, yay!
I forgot about it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I
rewatched before season 3.
Librarians and the Lost Lamp on hold.
Yeah.
She's on the list. Woo!
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Always a good thing. Check your local library, folks. And if not,
Yeah.
it's on Amazon.
Definitely. If you don't want to, if you can't afford to, or you don't want to spend that money, get it from the library.
Mm-hmm.
If you really like it, you can always
buy it later.
Buy it. You can afford it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And double check interlibrary loan. Try to see if another city can send it to your library. Because I've done that for books. It can be done.
Yes. And our last bit of news is a little trip down memory lane for some of us folks. We got all nostalgic last week. We're going to get nostalgic again. Fraggle Rock is returning to TV. Not in a new show. It's the old show that was on. They've remastered it and cleaned it up. It's actually going to be available through HBO Go, their streaming service. Yes, the same network that brings you Game of Thrones, folks, is bringing you Fraggle Rock.
I'm looking forward to this because I can remember watching this.
Yeah, so
the trash heap.
Yeah.
Mad. Ooh, those postcards. The doozers.
Yeah. So all 96 episodes will become available, fully remastered in HD. When exactly, they've not said. But soon. That's all we know. So, if you have HBO Go, you're good. You just gotta wait. If you don't, well, now you've got time, I guess. If you're waffling and this is gonna put you over, you may want to sign up now. That way you're ready to go once it drops. So.
Yay for mom giving me the password so I don't have to debate.
Yes, if your parents have HBO Go, you may want to ask if permission. So, tell them you won't be watching Game of Thrones if it's not appropriate for however old you are. Let them know you're wanting to watch something that's more kid appropriate. So there. Oh, well, with that being said, that is it for news. Before we get into this week's main topic, I do want to talk a little bit about a convention I went to yesterday. As I was saying before we started recording, I didn't really advertise that I was going. Just because it's a smaller con. It's in Kokomo, Indiana, which for me is a little over an hour north of where I am. Kokomo is lovingly known as Stoplight City for those native to Indiana because you can't go through Kokomo without getting a red light. It's not physically possible. Thankfully, since then, they've actually put in a bypass, so if you're trying to go north of Kokomo, you don't have to go through Kokomo anymore, which is great when I'm going to Man-Laws, but that's beside the story here. But I'm familiar with the area is what I'm trying to say, because we pass through that all the time when visiting my in-laws, until they built the bypass. I'm not sure exactly how long this convention's been going on. I think it's fairly new. I want to say this was their 5th or 6th year, I think, because I think they said next year's year 7, maybe. But it's at the Kokomo Convention Event Center, I guess. It's a smaller venue, but not terrible. They did a good job of utilizing the space that they had. They have there. I went really just to kind of check it out and see what it was like, which is why I didn't really, say a whole lot about, hey, I'm going here, that sort of thing. I did cosplay. I dressed as Jessica Jones, mostly because she's really comfy to wear. I wear pants and comfy shoes. I wasn't in a huge hurry to get there. It started at 10. I got there about 10:30, 10:45. I wasn't I didn't make myself get up stupid early so I could get there as soon as it started. Just very casual, just laid back, very chill. There were a lot of my friends there, people that I know through the cosplay community. So it was fun to see them. I ran into Keith from Who North America, actually. While Who North America was not there, Keith was sharing booth space with, unfortunately, I can't think of the guy's name. But he was their guest at their booth at Gen Con. He's an artist, and he had drawn a variant cover for a Doctor Who comic that was exclusive to Gen Con. But he's also a caricature artist. So he had his booth there selling prints of his art and doing caricatures for people. So Keith tagged along and was passing out flyers for the shop and the upcoming Doctoberfest, which is coming up in a couple weeks, which is going to be their first ever fall festival that they're having at the shop. So that was pleasant to run into Keith, chat a little, so that's always. And then I saw a lot of my friends from the Indiana Cosplay Association, the Indiana Cosplayers Facebook page. That was really awesome. The only thing I bought, I didn't buy anything, good for me. The only thing I bought was a print of one of my friends who I've shared his stuff on Instagram and on our Facebook page. He's known as Rap Battle Spidey. Jackie's really cool dude, super positive. He's very into the Marvel characters. So I bought one of his cosplay prints, photos of him, and he signed it for me. So that was very cool. No, I told him I would. But mostly it was just wandering, looking at booths. There were several artists and vendors that I had seen at other local conventions. You stay in the state and you tend to see some of the same people over and over again. They didn't really do much. They didn't do anything like panels or anything. The only thing they did was a cosplay contest, which I watched. They did adults, groups, and kids, and actually the kids they broke up into two groups. They did 3 and under, which they only had 2 contestants in that category, but both were super adorable. There was a little boy dressed as the Penguin, and then a little girl dressed as Wonder Woman. They were adorable. I put all the pictures I took on our Facebook page already, so you can see photos. The Penguin won, and then they did ages 4 to 12. Which they had way more contestants for that. Some really good cosplays. A lot of them, their parents help making them, but they let their kids have input and all that. So some future, as these kids get older and, if they continue with being into cosplay, they get some very talented kids out there and some very talented parents too. And then they did the groups, which there was a group that did Vikings. They did their own, I don't know if they're from a video game or something, but they did Vikings, and they made their own chainmail and their weapons and everything. It was very cool too. And then there was a break in between those and the adults, where they do an auction, a charity auction every year that goes towards the charity of their choice. I think this year it went to the Humane Society. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Which I don't know how much money they raised. They auctioned off. It's a bunch of celebrity autographs. They had stuff signed by like Stan Lee and Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan, and so it was like, cool stuff. So I'm sure that they did pretty well with that. And then they did I ran into Tony Troxel from Indiana Geeking. So I got to talk to him and his girlfriend for quite a while, which that was pretty cool. And then we parted ways, and they wandered one way and I went the other. And then I went back to the area for the adult cosplay competition, ran into Tony and his girlfriend again. And Tony just offhand said, hey, I was like, he was like, yeah, they just asked me to be a judge for the adult cosplay competition. And I told him no. And I'm like, I'll do it. Mostly jokingly. But Tony's like, okay, hey, the guy's name is. But Tony was like, hey, you still need another judge? And they're like, yeah, like, here you go. So I went from casual con goer to my first ever time judging a cosplay competition in about that fast. Yeah, it was fun. I will, any convention I go to, I always try to attend the cosplay competitions because I think it's one of my favorite parts of the con is to see everyone's hard work, and a lot of times if they are in character, if they decide to be in character, that's very entertaining too. There was a guy dressed as Deadpool that I don't think he broke character the entire day. he was Deadpool even during the cosplay competition. He was just Deadpool the entire time. So, I can and, as a still newbie-ish cosplayer and someone who's, only made one one, outfit from scratch, I know how much work it can be to, make a cosplay. Even if you're not making it from scratch, just finding the pieces, even if it's something where, it's just regular clothing you could find at the thrift store or whatever, to find the right piece to make that character come alive is hard. So I can appreciate that. And the whole, presentation of being in character and that sort of thing, that's tough too, especially when you're getting up on it. It's one thing to wander the halls and, be Deadpool or, be Batman or whatever. It's another thing to get up on stage and be judged for how well you can be Batman. So, not gonna knock anyone for putting themselves out there. So, yeah, judging was way harder than I thought it was going to be. And not because, it's easy to be like, well, they didn't make, they bought everything in their cosplay. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's some people that buy their cosplays or commission them and they are really good looking, and then there's some people that make their stuff and maybe it's their first time effort and practice makes perfect. So I can't fault anyone for anything, but really it's hard to judge because there are so many that are so good and you can only pick one winner. It's like, it can only be, they didn't do like first, second, and third place. They only did first place, which makes it really hard to pick one winner. We got lucky with the adults. They did separate, they did award a first place in female winner and a first place male winner. And with the female, me and the two other judges, we were all on the same page. We knew exactly who we thought the best one was. When it came to the guys, oh my God, it was so hard. So hard to pick a winner. We ended up having to bring in like the guy emceeing the thing and one of the other volunteers to help us make a decision. And then they did like a best of where everyone who won in their respective categories would go together and we'd pick like a best in show, best overall type thing. And again, we were so torn in trying to pick a winner. We ended up having to go up on the stage and like getting really close and touching and asking questions of each of the entrants and see if that would help. And oh my god, it was so hard to pick. I still feel guilty. Like, I want to give everyone a prize. But we couldn't, unfortunately. But oh yeah, no. And I mean, the guy that ended up winning best overall, I mean, he totally deserved it. If you've seen the photos I posted on our Facebook, there's a guy. And the guy, I've actually seen him before in a different cosplay. If anyone remembers seeing pictures, I saw him in Lexington, and I saw him at Indiana Toy and Comic Expo last year. And then I think he was at PopCon this year as the Great Pumpkin. It's his interpretation of the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown. But with this particular show, he had a new cosplay. It's Count Chocula.
Wow.
This thing is 9 feet tall.
Whoa.
And everything is...
Count Chocula, the character itself, or
no,
Count Chocula, the cereal box?
No, the character from the cereal box.
Okay.
If you go to our Facebook page and look at the photos, you'll see what I'm talking about. This thing is 9 feet tall. It was 10 feet tall, and he realized that was about a foot too big for him to be able to handle, so he had to shrink it down. He's been working on this thing. I can't even call it cosplay, just because it's like beyond. He's been working on this thing for like 2 years, because he makes everything from scratch. Even the fabric on the arms, like the suit itself, I think is just store-bought fabric. But like the bat wings, like Count Chocula's cape thing, that is fabric that he custom made. And like,
wow.
Yeah, like the rigging inside of the outfit to make like the arms and the head move, he came up with a system that's voice activated that allows it to light up. Like the mouth and the eyeballs light up. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I mean, the amount of work and, customization he did, and it's so unique, it's one of a kind. It probably definitely deserves, the best and best of award, but everyone else was just so good. I mean, there were so many other people that just, handmade everything from scratch and put months and months and months of work into it. But, this guy, he works in restaurants. He's not an engineer, yet he figured out all this rig, and it's like, dude, take the trophy.
I'm looking at the picture, and I'm just like, holy cow.
Yeah. It is ridiculous.
And to walk with those shoes alone.
Yeah.
On his feet.
Yeah. The shoes, he's got tennis shoes on. And then like the outside of the shoe is like foam and some other stuff, but the heel bit of the shoe is actually the giant plastic bucket that kitty litter comes in.
Wow. Hey.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. And then he had to like build it up so that he could put his foot in there and it would actually hold, and he can go up steps if he has to. That's like, dude. But yeah. But everyone was so good. It was so hard to pick a winner just because everyone's so talented. So yeah. But that, would I do it again? Yeah, probably. Someone asked me, but now I'll be better prepared of just how stressful it is to be a cosplay judge. Unfortunately, because I was judging, I couldn't take video and photos because I was busy, doing math. But there, hit up the social medias and all that. I know a lot of people who attended have been sharing their photos on like the Comic-Con, the Kokomo-Con Facebook page. So if other people want to see photos that I didn't take, go hit up the Kokomo-Con Facebook page. And there's a lot of cosplays that, like, I'm looking at people's photos like, I didn't even see that. How did I miss that? That was a really good cosplay. So yeah, but FunCon, totally worth the drive. So I will definitely keep it on the calendar for the future, as long as there are not other conflicts that particular weekend. So, but yeah, that was my adventure at Kokomo-Con. So, yay, cons. So, awesome. Well, let's move on to this week's topic, which will be a bit reviewish, a bit little good, a little bad, a little ranty, a little squee, a little yeah. I've, as you guys know, and our listeners know, I have been slowly and quickly, depending on how busy I am that particular week, working my way through the DC TV universe. Now, I say DC TV, this does not include Gotham. This is really just the Arrowverse, as I like to call it, because this is all Oliver Queen's fault. They started with Arrow, so therefore this is the Arrowverse. Especially considering, I guess technically 3 of the 4 shows take place on the same Earth as Arrow, so Supergirl being the exception. Different Earth. But Oliver Queen is kind of the one. He started it. They started with him, with his show first, so this is the Oliver Queen Arrowverse. So I am one more following Mitch's handy dandy spreadsheet. Again, Mitch, thank you for making that. It's been a godsend. I am 1 episode away from my first episode of Legends of Tomorrow. So that is the only show that I haven't watched yet. I saw the backdoor pilot that they did through Arrow and Flash. And then I already binged Supergirl. Thank God I already binged Supergirl. I can't imagine trying to watch all 4 shows at the same time right now. So,
well, all 4 shows just came back.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's a little different, but trying to binge 4 shows at once.
True.
Yeah.
That would be a little hard. So I'm glad I got Supergirl. I'm glad continuity-wise it was a little confusing. Yeah, but I'm glad I got Supergirl out of the way. But it's been hard. It's gotten better as we've gotten further along, especially once they introduce Barry Allen and we got the backdoor pilot for Flash and all that. But the first 2 seasons where it's nothing but Arrow, oh my God. I felt like I needed antidepressants after every episode. Just Arrow is so
maybe not the best show to binge watch.
Yeah, Arrow. Take it from me, folks.
I'm glad I watched mostly not right from the beginning, but I watched. I wasn't binging 3 seasons before, 2-3 seasons before I even get to another show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Arrow is tough. It is dark and it is depressing, and I want to slap Oliver Queen and pretty much everyone on that show for I have this problem enough as it is with Emma Swan on Once Upon a Time. The everything is on my shoulders. I'm responsible for everyone. And if someone stubs their toe on a doorframe, it is my fault type of mentality. It's bad enough with one character, but on Arrow, it's everyone. everyone feels responsible for everyone else. It's like, oh my God, people.
I think we need to form a group and have an intervention with all of them.
Oh, I
Right?
need to start a Oliver Queen and crew therapy group or something. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, you know, and some of them, it takes a while for them to get that attitude. Like Oliver's that way right off the bat. You know, but then like people come in and he starts sucking them down. Like even wonderful Felicity, who's just, you know, geeky and talks way too much and can't keep her mouth shut and says things that are wholly inappropriate. Eventually he starts to drag her down too. I'm like, oh, stop. Oh my God. Anyway. But then they bring Barry Allen in. And,
we hear you, Rach.
Yeah.
We hear you, Rach.
And then they bring Barry Allen in, and Barry's just this, you know, dorky, lovable breath of fresh air. And I'm like, yay, Barry, I love you. You know, I got a nice, you know, gist of Barry Allen when they did the Supergirl Flash crossover. And I'm like, yay, I like him. He's funny and he's adorkable. So, you know, we get to the backdoor pilot for Flash, and then Flash season 1, and it makes it easier to binge because it's like, oh, Arrow, depressing. Oh, yay, Flash. Yay, you know.
Barry and Cisco. Yay.
Barry and Cisco.
Flash
And
is much lighter.
yes, it is. Oh, but now, like, Barry's starting to do the same thing where he's like, oh, I'm responsible for everyone. It's like, oh my God, no, stop. Oh, the martyred hero is such a trope. And so is the overprotective parent. And if I hear one more person say, I was just trying to keep you safe, I'm going to punch you.
I hate that. That's always...
Oh,
I always get annoyed with that one.
Or nothing, I'm fine. Veins popping out the side of my head. Like, now I know why.
Protect me, and look where it got you.
Yeah, like, and now
How's it working out for all of us?
now I know why I really haven't gotten into the DC universe. So, just because of crap like this.
Oh, and then I'm sharing secrets. Then we agree not to share secrets, and we're still not sharing secrets. We're keeping that trope too.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I know where stuff is headed. You know, I'm not too concerned about spoil. I mean, I went ahead and watched the current season openers for Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. I haven't watched Legends yet. I figure at this point I'll just wait. Because I'm so close to actually getting... Because I haven't watched anything in Legends yet. I know, like, some of what's involved.
Legends is, like... You need to have watched the previous season to understand where they are in the season 2 opener.
Which is why I'm waiting. So, like, I know the characters involved, but that's about it. But yeah, just
I think you're gonna like what you see when you get to it, Rach.
Yeah, well, hopefully, hopefully that is the case. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough to watch. You know, it's like every time I watch The Flash, I'm like, yay, and then I watch Arrow, and I'm like, so, and the flashbacks, like, I know Oliver was on that island for 5 years ish, yeah, give or take a few months, but, you know, at some point they're going to have to run out of flashbacks, right? I'm hoping. Probably not. We're probably going to be having flashbacks till the show ends. But, yeah. Just, you know, I can see why people like it. I don't think it's really my cup of tea. I mean, I'll keep watching it. For better or worse, just because I like the universe as a whole. and I like some of the characters. Like, Flash, I really like Barry, and I like Cisco, and I like Caitlin, and I like Felicity on Arrow, and believe it or not, I actually like Malcolm Merlyn, as, twisted and evil as he is, but I like John Barrowman, so that makes it a little easier to like Malcolm. And I like Felicity. But,
maybe better when maybe it might be better when you get caught up and you just have to wait a week, not have to watch it all
at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may be the case. I'm getting there. So that's the thing. So I'm that close to starting Legends. So I'm getting there. So and I do like, this is gonna be a nice little segue. Like I said, I have watched the current season premieres of 3 out of the 4 shows. And I did do that via the CW app, which I know the Brittany and Holly have been using as well. I don't know if Chrissy's been using it or not. But I know we talked about when they made the announcement that all of the shows will be available next day via the app for free, which is really nice. So CW, I give you thumbs up for that. Unfortunately, Mitch does not get the CW app, as we discussed pre-recording.
Yeah. It's not available outside the U.S. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But for those of us in the U.S., it's a good app. It's the shows are right there. I have had a few issues with the streaming where the video will get stuck but the audio will keep playing. I don't know if you guys have had that issue with it or not.
I've got that, but that's happened to some of my other streaming things, so I'm not used to it per se, but it's not new, I guess. For other streaming websites I've used.
Yeah. It's not too terrible. Usually if you just hit pause for a few seconds and let it get caught up, and then it's usually good. So it's supposedly because of how strong your Wi-Fi signal is, which I have pretty good Wi-Fi for the most part, but it's the internet. Things can not work properly, as we've figured out in all of our time using Skype. So, and the commercials are minimal. You don't the time you spend watching commercials is significantly smaller than if you were watching on regular TV. The commercials do repeat themselves, though. I have seen the same Toyota commercial I don't know how many times. If I hear people belting, "Don't tell me what to do, you don't own me," one more time, I may hurt someone.
I don't know. Last year I forgot which car commercial, but one was you need a truck. I'm I don't need a truck. Stop saying I need a truck.
I know. Well, I don't even drive, so I see a commercials for cars and trucks, and I'm I don't even have my driver's license. Why are you advertising cars to me?
Because they know you don't have a car, and therefore they think you need to buy one. Or something. I don't know. They keep trying to sell me a Toyota. I don't want a Toyota. I owned a Toyota once, way back in the day. Don't have plans to buy another one. So, but turn the volume down until the commercials are done. Turn the volume back up. You're good. So, like I said, they don't last that long.
That's what I usually end up doing in those
Yeah.
sorts of situations.
Yeah, but it is a little weird, unlike watching, regular TV where you may see, you won't see the same commercial over and over and over again. So one downside to using, a streaming service like this, unlike something like Netflix where it's completely commercial free, you do still have to deal with commercials and they're very repetitive. But in the grand scheme of things, I can live with it because it's a good app. It's fairly easy to navigate. Everything's labeled. You can look at stuff up by show. Or, once you open the app, it just shows most recently added, most recently aired. It shows you the air date and the episode number, so it's easy to keep track. And it's free.
Right, and the nice thing is if you have to leave and shut down your app, and you bring up the episode of last, you were watching this, do you want to resume from where you left off, or do you want to start all the way over from the beginning, which is a nice option to have instead of being stuck watching it from the beginning and fast forwarding if you have to.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice. That's very Netflix-esque.
Yeah.
Because Netflix remembers where you left off within a few seconds.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. Yeah. So, CW, yay. Thumbs up. Mm-hmm. CBS, pay attention. FYI. So, yeah. But, between that and Netflix and all the previous seasons are now on Netflix. Legends of Tomorrow just dropped on Netflix late last week. Mm-hmm. So, if you're thinking of binging, you can now. Mm-hmm. I would say we could give you a copy of our spreadsheet, but it would have to be updated because Supergirl's not actually on the sheet. But I guess we could always update it if somebody really wanted it. But if you want to watch the Arrowverse up until what's currently on air, it is all on Netflix now, which is nice. So Legends took a while to get on there. I don't know what the holdup was.
I think because the DVD came out like September 13th, and they have like a 30-day rule for DVD release date before it starts streaming, and I think that's what it was.
Oh.
Well, it also seemed like, didn't like Arrow and Flash and they like premiere on Netflix, and they come on the days they came out, because Legends came out the same day that season 2 came out, premiered. I think.
Not sure.
I could be wrong, but I think I remember.
I mean, the DVD thing, I guess, would make sense.
Yeah.
So I could see that, though.
I mean, I don't know if that holds true for every single one, but I kind of.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure it varies from.
Date.
Yeah, I'm sure it varies from like network and distribution, whatever type things. It's all very more complicated than I care to learn about. So that's why I don't work in TV. So. But so yeah, that's where I'm at with the Arrowverse. I am looking forward to bridging that last little gap from where I'm at to what I saw with the season premieres. Nothing surprising, I don't know if we need to sound a spoiler. I think that spoilers aren't too big of a concern for past seasons at this point. The statute of limitations, I think, has run out. But I guess I can be vague. I know that people die. on both Arrow and the Flash, and that causes things to happen to the people who know that person that die. So, you know, that has repercussions. Obviously, Flashpoint, that's a big deal, you know, in the Flash specifically, but is going to have repercussions throughout the rest of the Arrowverse. We haven't really seen that yet. We've only seen the repercussions to Barry and those around him directly so far. Arrow seems to, you know, unfortunately, Team Arrow has broken up for the most part, which kind of sucks a lot. But it is what it is. Some of it is some of it's Oliver's fault. Some of it we can probably put most of the. You know, I still have to see everything in context, but I know a lot of that is Damien Dark's responsibility for how things end up. It's a bad guy.
A committee to get rid of him formed.
Yeah. But on obviously Legends I haven't seen yet, so I'm not too concerned about spoilers. So if you guys want to talk about that, that's fine.
Well, if you didn't like Damien Dark to begin with, you're gonna hate him even more. Enough said.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I second that motion. Committee to get rid of Damien Dark. Once and for all.
Punch him in the face like Rory punched Hitler, and extra, we be good.
Yeah. But over on Earth, what is Supergirl? Is she Earth 3? What is she on?
I think I saw someone decide to call it like Earth S.
Earth S.
The whole Supergirl Superman thing.
Okay. So over on Earth S, other than her love life, actually things are going kind of hunky dory with Kara, especially now that her cousin has come to town.
Yes, I have to say I was really leery when I heard they were bringing him in, but I loved it. It turned out better than I had hoped.
I like the scene where just after they saved the space plane and they land, and she tells those three.
I usually
people
say hi.
I used to change his diapers.
Yes.
Like, I think I all the time. Like, I think I did.
Oh, yes, they did. that was so awesome.
That was great.
And I love how Kat has a crush on Clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, Kat, if you only knew.
Yeah, no kidding. I love Kat. I'm kind of sad that she's not going to be a regular. She's only going to be a recurring character just because she's, she's one of those breaths of fresh air just because she's so different than everyone else personality-wise. So. But
at the beginning, you weren't really that big of a fan of her.
I know, I hated her.
And what kind of surprised me, but probably shouldn't have, having Kiara's file in her desk drawer with reporter written on it. It's like,
As much as Kat is loath to admit it, she really cares for Kara. So, and she wants to see her succeed. But I can see why they've made, Kat a, recurring character instead of a regular. Now that Kara is going to be a reporter instead of Kat's assistant, their paths aren't as likely to cross in the day-to-day operations at Catco. So that, and
though I'm wondering
if Callista Flockhart's doing something else,
so for the replacement.
And
That's going to be interesting, because why do I get this feeling flashback to Murphy Brown and her repeating cycle of assistants? Yes, I'm dating myself. I did used to watch Murphy Brown in the day, and almost every single episode she'd have a new assistant. Sometimes they'd last, and sometimes nope. Gone within the first 3 seconds.
Well, Kat is definitely, she's
her own woman.
She is. I mean, it's not a character type that we haven't seen before. I mean, if anyone read the book or saw The Devil Wears Prada, it's the same thing. It's a woman in a high, powerful position in a man's world, trying to do her thing and make a name for herself. And, sometimes that comes off as rather witchy. Unlike in The Devil Wears Prada, you do get a little bit of seeing, the actual person within, but I still think Kat has more of a soul. So,
she hasn't made any sketchy deals.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I like Superman. I don't necessarily dislike the guy that they cast as Superman. To me, he's almost too good looking. He almost looks like a Ken doll with dark hair. Which I know Superman is supposed to be handsome, unlike, like someone grittier, because I mean, Superman, he's apple pie and America and truth, justice, and the American way and all that. So he's got to fit that particular image, the dark hair, the chiseled jaw, and all that. But to me, he's almost too good looking. But maybe that's just me.
Think his looks fit Superman better than Clark Kent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. For most of us, of a certain age, like Christopher Reeve is, the ideal Superman. And Christopher Reeve did a really good job of being, very handsome, very powerful, man from Krypton. But he did a very good job about making his Clark Kent be goofy enough and awkward and, kind of bumbling in an adorable type, kind of way. The mild-mannered reporter type thing. He was still a good-looking man, but he was adorable. He wasn't, like, good-looking and kind of, he was good-looking, but he was adorkable, as some people like to say, that, you could kind of separate the two. But this guy, even as Clark Kent, he's still really good-looking.
Yeah.
But that's who they chose to go with, and it is what it is. And I think he makes a really good Superman. I think maybe we need to see more of Clark Kent for Clark Kent to win me over. So maybe he needs to take it down a few more notches or something. But I don't know. I mean, in this case, Clark Kent has been working in Metropolis. He's a seasoned reporter. He's been working in his industry for a while. He's in a steady long-term relationship, I think. He and Lois have been together for quite a while from the sounds of it, unlike Kara, who is still finding her way in both being a superhero and in her job at Catco. So that may have a lot to do with it too. And they do have that nice heart-to-heart moment where she's like, "How do you do it? You make it look so easy." And he's like, "It's not." He's like, I've just been doing it for so long. He's managed to strike a balance to make it work, even though it's not super easy. So, which Oliver Queen could learn a thing or two. Just saying. Just saying. So, like I have a list of like characters that seriously need some personality development. Oliver Queen and Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Please take note. These characters I'm going to personally throttle if they don't get a personality change, perhaps or really an upgrade soon. Please. So, anyway. But overall, I'm happy with the universe as a whole. And I look forward to starting Legends. So, and trying to remember that it's Rip, not Rory.
Yeah.
Even though there's someone named Rory in Legends of Tomorrow.
That character, his last name is Rory.
Yeah. There's a person whose part of their name is Rory, but it's not Arthur Darvill.
Yeah. Rachel, it happens to the best of us. And still, yeah.
It's like, wait, which show am I talking about? That character Arthur Darvill plays, whose name starts with R, on that show about time travel.
Yep. Yeah, and almost the same, time, instead of Time Lords, we have Time Agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time Agents, not Time Lords.
Almost the same type of politics.
Yeah. Well, the timey-wimey is hard enough with the Flash. I was struggling there for the first season with Harrison Wells and the Reverse Flash and all that. I'm like, wait, but he goes back to kill Barry, but then Barry, it's timey-wimey. It can make your head hurt. It's like, surely there's some sort of paradox in there or something. Because there's like young Barry, but then older Barry goes there again. So there's two older Barrys.
Yeah. Doc Brown's echoing in my mind along with the first Doctor. It's just like,
yeah, pretty much. So.
The Ghostbusters don't cross the streams.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. And then Barry goes and does it anyway. So.
And Joe's just standing there shaking his head like, what can I do?
Yeah, a little bit. No. But, I can handle it. I watch Doctor Who. I can handle it. That's what I keep telling myself anytime we get involved with something involving time travel. I'm like, I watched 50 years of Doctor Who. I can handle this.
I've got X number of seasons of Doctor Who under my belt. This should be a cakewalk.
Exactly. Should.
Yeah, property would be should, yeah.
Oh my. So, but DC Universe, I thought I knew what I was in for when
you started this relationship.
When I started this relationship, but apparently I did not.
There was some extra super teeny tiny fine print that we weren't aware of.
Yeah. Apparently. It was funny because I was at my in-laws last weekend, and we took my mother-in-law and I took my nieces to McDonald's, and at the time the toys in the kids meals are all DC superheroes, like all action figures, and one of them is a Green Arrow. Doesn't look anything like Stephen Amell, obviously. And I was like, Oliver Queen, is that you? But I was just looking at the different characters, and like Supergirl, I can kind of understand. Batman, Batgirl. Some of them, I'm like, I don't know if those are really appropriate for a kid's toy. Like Oliver Queen is getting a little like Katana from Suicide Squad. I don't know whose idea thought it was to add her as a toy for a kid's meal, because that's not appropriate at all. If you've seen Suicide Squad, you'll know what I'm talking about. I hate to be the person to bring up the comparison between Marvel and DC, just because other than the fact that they're comic books, I don't think it's a fair comparison. A lot of people say that the DC universe is so much darker, and I would agree. Even with the Marvel Netflix and the darker tone of this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I still don't think it's a fair comparison, honestly. I will say that if you're a fan of both, then the mystical, magical route that Marvel is going shouldn't be too uncomfortable for you, because DC's been doing the whole magic thing for a while. There's in the DC universe, it's actually magic, though. That's the thing. In Marvel, it's science that hasn't been explained yet. In DC, it's just straight up magic.
Yep.
But the whole bringing people back from the dead thing, like if you're okay with that in DC, then in Marvel you should have no problem.
Yep.
So I will say that, if you're a fan of one, you should be able to do the other, no problem. I guess it just depends on, your favorite characters, I guess. I guess it just really comes down to who's your favorite character. It's gonna be Marvel. Is Batman your favorite? Then you probably want to be in the DC universe. So, unlike Marvel, obviously DC TV completely separate from the movies. So you're not gonna get that. They're completely separate, which is funny because I was getting into. I was at that point binging Arrow, and then went and saw Suicide Squad, and then I got to about the same spot in Arrow with Amanda Waller and their version of Suicide Squad. So I got to compare with the movie version in my head, fairly fresh, which was fun. You don't get all of the same characters. You get Deadshot in both. They give you like little teases of Harley Quinn on Arrow every now and then, but not have actually like brought her in as an actual character. Captain Boomerang on Arrow, way cooler than the movie version of Captain Boomerang. I will give him that. But yeah, and I did the same thing, even though I'd already seen, I think it was Brittany's comment on Supergirl after Superman saved those people, and the guy's like, we're moving back to Gotham.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to rewind that so I could see it again. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what he said.
And for those of us who are watching Gotham and knowing what's going on, it's just like, I don't think you really want to move back.
Yeah.
Right where you are.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're going to be
Or
safer
better
off.
yet, an entirely different city altogether.
Yeah.
That too. Yes.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think I'd...
Smallville, that's nice.
Yeah.
A small town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd still rather be in a city where Superman is around as opposed to villains.
Yeah.
Not Batman. If you're, if it's the same Gotham as the Gotham that's on TV right now, there's no Batman. He's a kid.
Well, the Gotham that's on TV right now, I get the impression that it's like not present day. Like it's not hugely far in the past, but they've got like flip phones and old computers, so I'm probably
it's kind of a mix.
Like, it's not present day. It's like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, probably.
Yeah, or it's kind of in its own time block.
It's in its own time field or whatever. I don't know.
No, you're exactly right, Mitch.
Or they're or the Gotham Police Department.
Projector and flip phones, computer.
Yeah.
Either that or the Gotham PD's just really cheap.
So it's not any time in the last probably 5 years.
Well, then maybe the same Gotham, at least on Supergirl's planet, Earth S. Maybe there is a Batman. I don't know. But I think I'd want to live closer to Superman than Batman.
Yeah.
Do you guys wonder if we'll get excuse me. I know it's not, technically we're not in Metropolis, but the fact that we've got Lex Luthor's sister as an existing character, do you think we'll get Lex Luthor at some point?
I would hope so.
I would hope so too. I want to see their version of Lex Luthor. See what they decide to do with him.
They said in the premiere that Lex was in jail, so they could have a plot later where he gets out of jail somehow.
He could. I mean,
you can't tell me that he's not plotting his breakout while sitting in a cell right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lord knows we've seen.
This is Lex Luthor we're talking about.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we do know that jailbreaks happen quite a bit in the Arrowverse. Yep. So, case in point, the Flash. Everyone breaks out of jail all the time. By the way, I know I said this all. I know I've said this. I said it in the chat, but I love Mark Hamill.
Yes.
Oh my God. So good.
Yep.
So good. Oh my goodness. I got to that his first appearance as the Trickster and I forgot. Like we'd even talked about this when the news dropped that he was going to be making an appearance on The Flash as the Trickster. I totally forgot about it. And he appeared on the screen. I'm like, oh yeah, Mark Hamill, yay! But oh my goodness, he is so good.
Yes.
So, I mean, I really haven't seen him in anything else besides Star Wars. So,
Now refresh my memory. Did the Trickster? Was he able to get away? So, is there a chance for him to come back? I can't.
No, he got locked up, and then I just watched the episode where he appears again, and he got locked up again. He got caught again. So, as far as I know, he's back in jail. So I guess he could show up again and break out again. So,
I wouldn't mind him coming at least one episode a season.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I laughed so hard, so hard in that first episode he's in, and you know that some writer somewhere was like, it's Mark Hamill. We have to put this line in the script.
I know what line you're talking about.
I'm laughing. I'm like crying. I'm like, just thinking. Y'all have seen Star Wars, listeners. You know what line we're talking about. Go watch it so you can see it in context. And like, like he was talking to the guy, and I'm like, no, they're not going there. They are not going there. He's not going to say it. And then he says it. And I'm like, oh my God, he said it. He said the thing. Oh my goodness. Oh,
You know,
brilliant.
So we're secretly hoping that was going to get in, but it's like, oh, do I want to? And it's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was telling Chauncey about it later. He's like, they didn't. I'm like, yes, they did. They did the thing. They said the thing. He said the thing. Oh my goodness. So bless you, Mark Hamill. Oh. I mean, I can't say it's a brilliant, bit of casting because technically he's playing a character he played before, like 30 years ago. So.
Not that quite.
20 years ago. A while ago. It's a character. It's not like it's random casting, So.
That's true.
It's not a random bit of casting. How about we leave it at that? So, and I'm looking forward to seeing dang it, I can't think of her name. On Supergirl. Wonder Woman. But she's not playing Wonder Woman. Yes, Linda Carter. Good, considering they've mentioned her, not by name, but they've mentioned her a couple of times. So it's like, yeah, she's coming. So I'm excited to see that too. So yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, now that I've I need to dry my eyes from the tears of laughter. It's stuff like that makes watching Arrow tolerable. Because then I know I have things like, Mark Hamill as a trickster on Flash to look forward to. So.
Oh, and speaking of Flash, congratulations to Robbie Amell. I think he got married.
He did.
The weekend.
He did.
Congratulations to him.
So.
I was going through my Instagram feed. I'm like, oh.
He married. Oh, I don't know what her name is, but she was the Banshee, right?
Yeah, and Supergirl, yeah.
Yeah,
what's her name? Nikki. Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah.
I just saw it.
So, Firestorm married Banshee. So, how's that for a crossover for you? So, yeah, I'm excited. And I'm look, I'll hopefully will have caught up and can be just watching what's airing by the time they get to like the big crossover. I don't know where in the season, how close we are to like the big 4-show crossover where it's essentially just gonna be one big show for 4 nights or for 4 shows.
Because normally when that happens, they start promoting the heck out of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything yet.
If they do it like how they normally do, like the big crossovers before, it's usually before, like right before the winter break.
Okay.
Like
well, I should be caught up by then, so that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I know they've already filmed it because I've seen photos on Instagram from like Grant with like, Melissa and all that. Like, hey, look what we're filming. Yeah. It's like Stephen Amell and Grant and Melissa, just everyone just hanging out. Like, yeah, filming the big thing. So, like, oh, that looks like fun. Or as they've been calling it, Superhero Fight Club.
Yeah.
I love those little
What
videos.
happens in the Fight Club?
Did you see the
stays in
Superhero Fight Club video that they released with Supergirl?
unless it's DC Fight Club. In that case, it goes on Instagram, so and all the social medias. So, but yeah, that's exciting. It's always good when they do the cross. I didn't realize there were how many times like Flash and Arrow crossed over. I thought it was just like the one or two times. Like it seemed like I get like like a handful of episodes, and it'd be like like Cisco walking into yeah, like, hey, how you doing, Cisco? Hey, what's up? And all of a sudden, Felicity's walking into Star Labs, like, sup, everyone? Like, okay, well, I guess we're doing another crossover here. Yay! I'm not complaining.
Nope, you live for those moments.
Yeah, a little bit.
Basically, even like the little tiny little mentions, like, woo!
Yeah.
Like when like, oh wait, what was I gonna say now?
Yeah.
Or about the time you're hoping that person would show up because like, oh yeah, we need him, and then boom.
Yeah. They name drop each other. Felicity, Cisco. Especially those two. It's like the nerds, the tech nerds.
Yep.
Oh my, awesome. Oh yeah. As much as I complain, overall it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. So it's good stuff, and it's not too late to jump in, people.
Nope.
So it's never too late to jump. If you can jump in, to Doctor Who, a year before the 50th anniversary, you can jump into this. Yes. If you got Netflix, you're good to go. It's all there. So. And Google is your friend to find, a spreadsheet that involves Supergirl as well. So, if you want. Well, Supergirl, I think for the most part, is pretty self-contained until Barry shows up.
Crossover.
Yeah, until Barry shows up. So. All right, awesome. Anything else? Anyone want to add anything? Bueller? Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, but that's I guess will be all we talk about for this particular week. Next week we will be discussing I don't know what. We will be Stay tuned. So, yes, next week will be a surprise to all of us, I guess. This is the way we roll, people.
And it's a good surprise, not a bad surprise.
Yeah. It'll just be a surprise. So, well, we got to keep our options open because you just never know when, the dump truck of news decides to back up and empty its load. So,
Fandom Christmas 3.0.
Exactly. And then the weekend of Halloween, I will be at Doctoberfest at Who North America. What exactly I will be doing, I still need to finalize. Keith and I talked a little bit about it when I saw him at Kokomo-Con, but I have to swing by the shop and talk to Janie and figure it out. A lot of it's going to be weather dependent. Late October in Indiana, anything goes. It could be 80, it could be snowing, it could be somewhere in between. So I definitely will be there. What I will be doing is yet to be determined and may not be determined till like the day of, depending on the weather. So, but I will definitely be there. Oh, there will be candy. So, if anything else, show up for free candy. And then we will be, in honor of Halloween. Obviously, I will have a full report from Doctoberfest. But in honor of Halloween and all things creepy and scary and all that fun stuff, we will be doing a top 10 of, I think we had agreed on doing a top 10 villains. So we're going to shine a little light on the baddies for Halloween. So that should be fun. So if anyone wants to put in their 2 cents, dear listener, feel free. And then that gets us to the end of October. Early November as Doctor Strange and Midwest Toy Fest all on the same weekend. So that should be an interesting episode that week. And that's where we're at least through early November. So obviously more stuff to come, if we find a way to, watch Class when it premieres everywhere except in the US. Maybe we'll do some sort of review. And then there's that little Star Wars movie that comes out in December. And that Harry Potter universe movie, too, that's coming out in November. So
there'll be certain Christmas special with a certain person in Bullbacks.
Yes. And Doctor Who will be back for one day. So we do have stuff to look forward to, which is exciting. So if anyone wants to send in feedback or comments about Arrowverse or anything else we've talked about or stuff that we're going to be talking about, you can send us feedback. Easiest way to do that is through our website, which is the 5ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. From there is a nice little contact us button, or you can just use regular email. Go straight to your chosen email provider and send us email to 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. But our website also includes links to things like our Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and the Goodreads book club and all the other 5 million social medias we're part of. There's also the link to our Patreon. So obviously we can't say thank you enough to those who support us through Patreon. You certainly help keep this show rolling. Also, there is the link to Amazon, which takes you directly to Amazon with our name attached to it. So anything you purchase through Amazon, we get a little kickback from, which doesn't cost you anything. You pay the same through Amazon. You can use Amazon Prime if you're a Prime member. You just have to make sure that you use that link. And you can buy literally anything from a book for your Kindle to car parts, which my husband has done. We get credit for all of it. So, and that helps as well. Helps support the show. So every little bit helps. So, and with the holidays coming up, you're probably going to be doing some holiday shopping for presents. So if it occurs to you and you're going to be making purchases through Amazon, and you don't, I guess, do the same thing to support anyone else, please give us a thought before you just type in Amazon.com into your browser. Go to us, click on that link, and then just shop till your heart's content, and you will be helping us, and you will make your purchases. So awesome. So very nice video. So we will be back next week with more tangents and squee and rants and all that fun stuff that we like to do. So, all right. Well, with that, I guess we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Boda saying goodnight.
Good evening.
Saying goodnight from Ontario.
This is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I need a coffee or something. I don't drink coffee. Anyone want to go jitters? You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.